everyone. Today, me and my team are going to explain about problem-based task in security in web application. So before we start, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Lakshman, son of Nathan. My metric card number is 01DDT20F1083.
Hey guys, my name is Satyalangu and my metric card number is 01DDT20F1093.
Hi guys, and I am Charan Ram and my matrix number is 01DDT20F1111.
So now let's see the first content. Discuss recent attacks trends in web application. Choose one attack. So let's see. Web applications can be attacked for a variety of reasons, including system faults caused by incorrect code, misconfigured web servers, application design flaws, or inability to validate forms. These flaws and vulnerabilities enable attackers to obtain access to databases containing sensitive information. Web applications are an obvious target for attackers because they must be available to clients at all times. So the next slide will be explained by Charan Raman.
Thank you, Lakshman. So I'm going to explain about SQL injection. So SQL injection is one of the most recent attack trend in web application is SQL injection. So SQL injection is a technique used by attackers to gain unauthorized access to a web application database by inserting malicious code into a database. Query SQL injection is the manipulation of SQL code to gain access to protected resources such as sensitive data or execute malicious SQL commands. When used correctly, a SQL injection can expose intellectual property, client data, or a private company's administration credentials. SQL injection attack can target any application that uses a SQL database with website being the most prevalent victims. MySQL, Oracle, and SQL Server are examples of popular SQL databases. SQL injection are one of the most important frequent security attacks as indicated by the presence on the OWASP top 10 list of risk to the web application security. With the availability of automated tools for conducting SQL injection, both the risk of SQL injection attacks and the damage they might to have increased because the attackers had to carry out this attack manually in the past. The likelihood of a company being attacked with SQL injection was rather restricted. Next, let's see how does SQL injection works. A SQL query is a request to execute some action on an application database. Queries can also be used to execute commands from operating system. When a user executes a query, set of parameters ensures that only the desired record are written. Attackers take advantage of this during a SQL injection by introducing malicious code into the query's input form. The initial step in a SQL injection attack is to investigate how the targeted database works. This is accomplished by entering a variety of random values into the query and seeing how the server reacts. Attackers then utilize their knowledge of database to create a query that the server will interrupt and execute as a SQL command. A database, for example, may contain information about customers who have made a purchase using customer ID and numbers. An attacker may enter customer ID equal to 1000 or 1 equal to 1 into the input field instead of searching for a specific customer. Because the statement 1 equal to 1 is always true, the SQL query would return all available customer IDs as well as any associated data. This enables the attacker to bypass authentication and acquire administrative access. The SQL attacks can be written to erase an entire database, bypass the need of password, remove records, or add undesired data, in addition to returning unauthorized information. Next, so let's see authentication. Authentication is the process or action of verifying the identity of a user or process demonstrate on how to secure web application by using the authentication. So this slide will be explained by Satya.
Thank you, Charan Ramhari. So the process of validating identity is known as authentication. The username or user ID is a unique identifier linked with the user. Traditionally, we utilize a username and password combination to authenticate a user. Because the authentication mechanism must be handled locally, we shall refer to it as local authentication. So there got a two type of authentication. One is enable multi-factor authentication, and one when user attempts to log in, use a single failure message. Now let's see enable multi-factor authentication. MFA is increasingly commonly used in web apps to add additional layers of protection. A minimum of 2 elements are usually required to authenticate a user. This is also known as two-factor authentication or 2FA. Some passwordless authentication techniques such as fingerprint scanning, face recognition, OTP or code transmitted to WhatsApp or Telegram, Instagram and Facebook have been included in the process since they are more difficult for hackers to initiate. For example, see the steps below on how to enable multi-factor authentication in Instagram account. So first of all, you need to take your mobile phone, go to the menu in Instagram application and find 4 settings. After that, in the settings, open security option and inside that you can see two-factor authentication options and click that. After tapping the two-factor authentication option, it will ask to choose one security method from 3 methods given, which is authentication app, WhatsApp and text message. I will prefer to use text message as an authentication security method because you will receive a code via normal message or SMS in your mobile phone. If you choose WhatsApp, you can only receive the code when your mobile data is on or your phone connected to internet. Also, if you use an authentication app, sometimes if the app is having glitch or bug, you won't receive the code and you can't log in into your account in other devices. On the text message option. And now you will receive a confirmation code via SMS in your mobile to confirm that is a phone number and you are requesting to enable multi-factor authentication for the Instagram account. Apply the code in the column given and tap done. So this is how you will get an SMS for your confirmation code. And now you have successfully enabled two-factor authentication in your Instagram account and you will receive a bunch of codes for backup in case you lost your mobile phone. Store it in your personal files. Now, to test whether the two-factor authentication working or not, access Instagram in your laptop or desktop. Go to the Instagram web page and log in with your username and password. After clicking login, it will ask to enter a code that's sent to your mobile phone number. It means two-factor authentication is working in your account. Get the code that you receive via SMS and click confirm. You can now access your Instagram in your laptop as well, and anonymous cannot get into your account easily by enabling this two-factor authentication. And now let's see the second authentication method, which is when user attempts to log in, use a single failure message. It is recommended to display a consistent failure message whenever the user enters the wrong username or password. Attackers can frequently predict if the username exists or not by sending separate invalid user or incorrect password messages. They can then begin guessing the password for the specific account. So for example, I've taken a Gmail sign in. So if anyone wants to try login into your account, it will show wrong password, try again or click forget password to reset it. So this is the method, which is when user attempts to log in, use a single failure message. Failure message will be shown when users try to get into the account.
So now let's see the third one. Session state in the context of net is a method keep track of a user session during a series of HTTP requests. Demonstrate how to manage session state in security environment. Session is a state management technique. A session can store the value on the server. It can support any type of object to be stored along with our own custom objects. A session is one of the best techniques for state management because it stores the data as client base. Regarding security, session management relates to securing and managing multiple users' session against their requests. In most cases, a session is initiated when a user supplies an authentication, such as a password. A web application makes use of a session after a user has supplied the authentication key or password. So the next slide will be explained by Charan Raman.
Thank you, Lakshman. So for this case, we have choose broken authentication and session management vulnerabilities. So we have stated the photo here. So a session request is raised by a user of web application through the login page where the user credential has been provided. Once the given request has been sent from the client side to the server initiates a query to the database for checking whether the user provides credential is matched. So next, it continuously sends the request of produce use credential until the system finds it correct. As soon as the guessable credential are matched with database, the system sends a response to the attacker with the access in the account or admin panel. And it is mentioned here that many systems are easily exploitable due to the use of the weak password like admin123 and etc. Next, the possible vulnerable website list have been observed in the feature that we have stated here. And the attacker selects the specific URLs with the index file like in URL slash aapne slash admin slash index.php. Next, browser sends a request to the server to get access to the user admin panel directly without any username and password. JavaScript redirects the request and send attacker to the login page. Next, the installation process of none redirect adds on in the Firefox browser where the target website URL are added in the add-ups for getting access in admin panel successfully by preventing a direction of the request. Non-direction add-ons helps attacker to bypass the admin panel successfully and intruder gets privileged across into the system. The last one will be cracking or guessing the weak password exploitation using multi-protocol brute force tool, which is Hydra. Finally, Hydra shows whether username and password is found or not. So the next slide will be explained by Satya.
So, when web application authentication systems are handled by using conditional queries to check username and password against one user for authentication. If these conditional queries get infected or not properly handled, it could easily compromise by an intruder to get access into the system without proper authentication. Finally, it has been decoding inadequate encryption. So now let's see the fourth content, which is information on Adobe Flash security problems, issues, vulnerabilities, flaws, Flash exploit problems, and cracks in Adobe Flash security and Adobe Flash security player. It is widely recognized that the design of Adobe's Flash player is insecure. Describe the Flash security features.
Let's see the website privacy settings. Applications that are running in Adobe Flash Player may want to have access to the camera and or microphone available on your computer. Privacy settings let you specify whether you want the application from a particular website to have such access. Click the tabs to see different panels and click the option in the panels to change your Adobe Flash Player settings. Use this panel to reset the privacy settings in Flash Player. If you select always deny and then confirm your selection, any website that tries to use your camera or microphone will be denied access. Now let's see the website storage setting. Web storage, sometimes known as DOM storage, document object model storage, provides web apps with methods and protocols for storing client-side data. Web storage supports persistent data storage, similar to cookies, but with a gently enhanced capacity and no information sent in the HTTP request header. It will show the name of the website, the amount of disk space the website has used to store information on your computer, the maximum amount of disk space the website can use before requesting additional space. In this panel, you can change storage setting for a website or delete the website so that if you visit again, it will use your global setting instead of any individual setting you may have set. You can also delete all sites, which erases any information that may have already been stored on your computer. So the next slide will be explained by Charan Ramani.
Thank you, Lakshman. So let's see the question. Sign in on SSO is an authentication scheme that allows a user to log on with a single ID to any of several related yet independent software systems. Choose one platform to apply and deploy single sign-on solution into real-life situation. So single sign-on SSO, which is SSO, is an authentication and authorization method that enables a user to access various enterprise applications using a single set of login credential, username, and password. Simply put, SSO merge multiple application login windows into one, allowing you to submit credential once again to gain the access to all applications without having to log in to each one individually. End users save time and effort by not having to sign in and out of a variety of web on premises and cloud apps on a regular basis. SSO is a crucial component of identity and access management or access control services. When an SSO solution is perfectly deployed within a business, it simplifies overall password management and enhancing productivity and security by lowering the chance of lost, weak, or forgotten password.
So these are the platform to apply and deploy single sign-on. We use the Mini Orange. Okay, let's see the steps. Go to the web https www.miniorange.com business free trial. Sign up for the Mini Orange account. Fill up all the necessary details and sign up, and after that get started with Mini Orange SSL. After signing up, go to the web https login xsecurify.com MOAS/login request local English and login with the credential used just now for sign up. Now go to apps and click add application. In choose application type, choose SAML/WSAPD and click create app. Now search for custom SAML app. Click that and enter the following details as mine. And now after the fill up the details, click next. Now click the upload logo option to upload the app logo for a custom SAML app. Click the optional, click save. Now your application is successfully saved. Select your newly created application by clicking the select button and navigate to metadata. On the page metadata, download the metadata file under the heading information required to set Mini Orange as IDP. If you wish to utilize Mini Orange as a user store, your user IDs will be saved in Mini Orange. If not, download the metadata file under the heading information required to authenticate using external IDPs. If you want to authenticate your user via any external identity provider, such as Active Directory, Okta, OnLogin, Google, or Apple ID. Now decide and then click download metadata. So that's all for the Mini Orange steps. I hope you guys all understand about our problem-based task activity. That's all from us. And thank you for Puan Azliza to giving this opportunity. Until then, bye-bye.